Good morning, this is Stephen Seifert. Welcome to another Dulcimer Diary. I'm at Lloyd Wright's house in Kennard, Texas, warming up this morning. And I've been working on pentatonic scales. And there's two ways to do them, you know. You can just stay on one string or you can go across the strings. Up here, for a D major pentatonic, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 14, we're right next to a big old highway here in the country, so enjoy the trucks. And I'm not clean yet on this, but I wanted you to experience what I'm working on here. I think I'm gonna go up to 15. Notice I'm using a 4-finger approach on this, and I'm alternating pick direction. Well, this little thing up here where I'm using 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 14, 15, you know, you can get away with having a separate finger for every note, and it works out pretty well. Something like that. But when you get down here from O to 7, everything gets so far apart. If I was to use that same exact fingering, I can almost make it happen, but I don't think I can make it happen well, especially at fast speeds. It's not bad. A little too much of a stretch, especially right here. Now I could come up with, I don't know. I could come up with a way to make that work, but I'm digging using these noter slides. Listen to this idea. And then when I get up here, I go to the 4-finger approach. So I'm implementing some very specific noter style slides with my finger from here to here, and then when I get up here, I'm going back to 4-finger approach. Let me see if I can do that, putting that noter thing in. Let's see if I can do that the whole way out. And this will work better when you go faster, I think. It's not as precise, but it's a blend of different approaches. And what's interesting is I can get away with just using 2 fingers. Let's see if I could just use index and pinky. Let's see. And it really does work better when you go faster and put a little bit of nose oil on the strings. And it's cold out a little bit. All right, so 2 fingers, really, Steve? Well, what if I tried index and ring? Too much of a stretch, see that? I mean, it's doable, and then it's going to get easier from there because the stretch is, but I love using that pinky. Let's see, index, index. And then after each slide, there's a pinky, and then there's another slide. So when you get into it, index, let's see, here's where it really starts. Index, slide, pinky, index, slide, pinky, index, slide, pinky. It's harder to talk about than to do. Well, I like the idea of using it all the way up, but I do like up here. The one advantage to having these 4 fingers You're not really tied into a certain kind of pattern. But I think this would be neat to throw in somewhere. And I'm not ready to do it fast, but let's prove I'm not ready to do it fast. Almost. That is cool. And I'm sure there is a descending one I could figure out here. Let's see. Yeah, this one's very different. Very different. Watch this. Let's see. It's almost like different fingers end up getting used. I don't even know how to describe that because I don't know what I'm doing. So in this one, it's kind of like a slide where you start sliding with one finger, but then other fingers take over the slide. And then index finger, and then whatever's available goes down and the slide begins with it. But boy, that is wild. I'll let you figure out what I'm doing there. Here's the reverse. And you know, I guess I could get all this down and then do the video, but I want you to see me working it out, figuring it out. Putting the slides in both octaves. Boy, I gotta work on that. So, where are you? There you are. Why do this? Well, one thing is, when you work on an exercise, you get concepts and mechanics that you can kind of metaphorically apply to something else. It teaches you principles of fingering that you can reapply somewhere else in a fresh way. But if you don't learn those principles, you don't know them, you know. It seems like the exercises make it easier to mine that reality for different approaches. So, what else on this? Well, I'm not only playing D major. I mean, if I'm in the tune of D, if I'm in the key of D major, and I'm just playing D major pentatonic the whole time, you can kind of get away with it, but you kind of can't. It sounds better to me a lot, not all the time, but if the major pentatonic scale you're using matches the chord you're on. So, for instance, here's G, same patterns, but all shifted to the right. Let's see. Same fingering technique, different notes. This is a G major pentatonic. 0, 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 14. Now the problem here is I have a drone, but I would probably quote this exercise just a little bit when I'm playing live. So I don't need it to be perfect. It just needs to do something neat. So here it is with a D drone, but I'm playing a G major pentatonic. There's also the possibility, very good possibility, in the key of D, I'll need an A major pentatonic to match an A major chord. Out of context, it sounds weird. Here we go. So let's hear that in context a little bit. D, G, A, D. I quote exercises. Where are you? There you are. I quote exercises just a little bit, like for one measure or something, while I'm making up stuff. So let me see if I can demonstrate that. I'll make up a little tune here. D, I'm calling out the chords. D, G, A, D, D, G, A, D. So I'm going back and forth between playing, just making up stuff to match the chords, and then throwing in those major pentatonic patterns. So that's something to look at, something to consider. It's definitely a work in progress, something I shouldn't share with anyone, but it's safe to share it with your diary, right? That's the whole point of this stuff. Somebody was saying some of that stuff you're doing on there, it's not really applicable to beginner. Yes, that's right. It's applicable to me. It's my diary. You get to read it. Let's look at doing this. Let's look at doing this across the strings. Now you really got to know your pentatonics well to do this, but here's some examples. If I was down in this position near the nut. Now watch what I have to do here. You're gonna see me fret 2 strings with, see that, with the ring finger? Watch it again. See that? That's the challenge for me of playing these well. Now I could use 2 different fingers to do this, but at high speeds, I know using 1 finger might have its advantages. I haven't proven that totally yet to myself. Backwards, same kind of deal. See that ring finger doing double duty like this? Most of the time, it's the tip of the ring finger is where it needs to be, but sometimes I gotta use that last segment of the ring finger to get both strings. Let's see. So I have D major pentatonic scale, D, E, F sharp, A, B, but I want to be able to do it all over it. And it turns out there are 5 versions of this. That's the first one. Here's the second one. shoot. There it is. Here, I think it'll be easier right now to show this to you if I don't include the melody string. Because the melody string, in a sense, is kind of redundant. Not exactly, because I always move up a position. Let me just show you on the bass and middle. Here's the first one. Here's the second position. Same notes, I'm just moving up. Next one. Fourth one. And the final one. And then you're back to the original. It's the same one we started with, but up here. Now the challenge is in putting it across all three strings. And one way I do this is I do 3 notes on the bass, 3 notes on the middle, 3 notes on the melody. But the only way you don't end up getting a redundant note on the melody string between the middle and melody is to, on the melody, always shift 1 position up. So here's the first position for this scale. But I want to, I only used O and 1 on the middle. I want to use 3 notes on the middle. If I use 3 on each, I'm using a D here. I don't want to use that open melody D. So I'm going to shift on the melody string to the next pentatonic position, but only for this 1 string. Let's see. And that gets to be a little tricky. So, first position, I'll call it. And then I shift into the second position for that. Now I go to second position, shift into third for the melody. So it's 3 notes per string. There it is. So that's I want to get better at this stuff. I think it could all be mixed together. Listen to this. You know. So what am I doing all this for? What is going on with me? Look at that out there. It looks great. I always have a little voice saying, don't do this stuff. This is not friendly stuff for people. It's my diary. So thanks for reading it. I'll see you guys next time. Hey, take care of yourselves. Work on something you are interested in, something that can help you. Adios.